Hello, we're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we are talking about the bridge between your goals and your success, discipline. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. Many people wait to feel motivated before they work, but today we will show you why waiting is a mistake and how discipline makes everything easier.
Abel, I think this is one of the most important topics we have ever discussed on this channel because so many of our listeners want to improve their English. They want to get better jobs, they want to travel, they want to communicate with people from other countries, but they struggle. And do you know what many of them tell me? They say, Anna, I don't feel motivated to study today.
Yes, I hear that all the time too, and I completely understand that feeling because I used to be exactly the same way. I used to wait for motivation. I would wake up in the morning and I would check how I felt. If I felt excited, I would study. If I felt tired or bored, I would say, I will do it tomorrow. And guess what happened?
Tomorrow never came.
Exactly. Tomorrow never came, or it came and I felt the same way. Tired, bored, not in the mood. So I kept pushing things to the next day and the next day and the next day. Weeks passed, months passed, and I made almost no progress. That was a very frustrating time in my life.
And I think many of our listeners can relate to that story. So let us start right here. Let us talk about the difference between motivation and discipline, because understanding this difference can change your life. I'm not exaggerating. It really can change your life.
Okay, so let me explain this in a very simple way. Motivation is a feeling. It is an emotion. It comes and it goes. Think of motivation like a wave in the ocean. Sometimes the wave is big and strong, and you feel amazing. You feel like you can do anything. You want to study for 3 hours. You want to read an entire book. You feel powerful.
But then what happens to that wave?
The wave goes down. It always goes down. That is the nature of waves. They rise and they fall. So one day you feel very motivated, and the next day you feel nothing. You feel empty. You feel lazy. You do not want to do anything. And if you only work when the wave is high, you will not work very often.
That is such a clear picture. Motivation is like a wave. It goes up and down. Now, discipline is different. Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Think of discipline like a straight line. It doesn't go up and down. It stays steady, it stays constant. Whether you feel good or bad, happy or sad, excited or bored, the line keeps going forward.
And that's the key. Discipline means you do the work even when you do not feel like doing it. You study English even when you are tired. You practice speaking even when you feel shy. You listen to a podcast even when you would rather watch a funny video on your phone. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want right now.
I love that sentence. Let me repeat it for our listeners because it is very important. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. So what do you want most? Maybe you want to speak English fluently. Maybe you want to pass an exam. Maybe you want to get a promotion at work. That's what you want most. But what do you want right now? Right now, maybe you want to sleep. Maybe you want to scroll through social media. Maybe you want to watch a movie.
And discipline is saying, I know I want to relax right now, but I'm going to study for 15 minutes first because my future is more important than my comfort in this moment. That is discipline. And here's the beautiful thing, Anna. When you practice discipline every day, it becomes easier. It becomes a habit. In the beginning, it's hard. I will not lie to you. It is very hard. But after a few weeks, it becomes natural.
That is a very important word for our listeners, habit. A habit is something you do regularly without thinking about it very much. For example, brushing your teeth is a habit. You don't wake up and think, do I feel motivated to brush my teeth today? No, you just do it. It's automatic. And discipline can become the same way. Studying English can become automatic. It can become just something you do, like brushing your teeth.
Exactly. And I want to share something with our listeners that really helped me. It's called the 5-second rule. Have you heard of this, Anna?
Yes, I have, and I think it's a brilliant and simple technique. Please explain it to our listeners.
Okay, so the 5-second rule is very simple. When you know you need to do something, but you don't feel like doing it, you count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you move. You physically move your body. You stand up. You open your book. You press play on the podcast. You do not give your brain time to say no.
And the reason this works is because of how our brains function. When you think about doing something difficult, your brain immediately starts giving you reasons not to do it. Your brain says, you're too tired, you can do it later, it's not that important, you need to rest. Your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort, but growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from doing hard things.
So the 5-second rule stops that negative voice in your head. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you move before your brain can convince you to stay on the sofa. I use this every single day. When my alarm goes off in the morning, I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I get out of bed. When I need to study or work on something difficult, I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I open my laptop. It sounds too simple to work, but it really does work. Try it today.
I want our listeners to try it right now, actually. Think of something you've been avoiding. Maybe it's studying vocabulary. Maybe it's practicing your pronunciation. Maybe it's writing a paragraph in English. Whatever it is, when this podcast is over, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go do it. Don't think, just move.
That's great advice. Now, Anna, there is another important concept I want to talk about. It's called environment design, and this one is very powerful.
Oh yes, environment design. This is one of my favorite topics. Please tell our listeners what it means.
Okay, so environment design means you change your surroundings to make good choices easier and bad choices harder. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say you want to study English before you go to sleep, but every night you get into bed and you pick up your phone and you start watching videos or checking social media. And then 1 hour passes and you are too tired to study. This happens because your phone is right next to your bed. It's easy to pick up.
So, what do?
You change your environment. You put your phone in another room, or you put it across the room far from your bed, and instead you put your English book on your pillow. So when you get into bed, the first thing you see is your English book, not your phone, your book. Now, the easy choice is to study. The hard choice is to get up and walk across the room to get your phone.
That is so clever. You're making discipline easier by removing temptation. Temptation is a very useful word, listeners. Temptation means something that makes you want to do a bad thing or a lazy thing. Your phone on your bedside table is a temptation. A box of cookies on the kitchen counter is a temptation. So you remove the temptation and you replace it with the good habit.
Here are some more examples. If you want to listen to English podcasts in the morning, prepare your headphones in your phone the night before. Put them right next to your coffee cup, so when you wake up and make coffee, you see your headphones and you remember to listen. If you want to practice writing in English, leave a notebook and a pen on your desk, open to a blank page. When you sit down, the notebook is already there, waiting for you.
If you want to review vocabulary, put flashcards on your bathroom mirror. Every time you brush your teeth, you see the words. You're using your environment to remind you and to make it easy. Discipline is not only about willpower. Willpower means using your mental strength to resist temptation. Willpower is limited, it runs out. But if you design your environment well, you don't need as much willpower.
That is a very important point. Do not rely only on willpower. Make the good choice the easy choice. Change your environment. Set yourself up for success.
Now, Abel, I want to talk about something that many learners struggle with, and that is the cost of quitting. Many people start studying English with great energy. They buy books, they download apps, they join classes, but after a few weeks, they stop, they quit. And then months later, they start again from the beginning, and they quit again, and they start again, and they quit again. This cycle is exhausting and heartbreaking.
It really is. And here is what I want our listeners to understand. Starting over is always harder than keeping going. Always. When you quit and start again, you lose your progress, you lose your rhythm, you lose your confidence. You have to rebuild everything. But if you just keep going, even slowly, even imperfectly, you maintain your progress. You build on what you already have.
Let me give you a picture. Imagine you are pushing a big, heavy ball up a hill. In the beginning, it is very hard. The ball is heavy and the hill is steep, but as you keep pushing, you build momentum. Momentum means the force that keeps something moving. The ball starts to move faster. It becomes easier. But if you stop pushing, the ball rolls back down to the bottom, and you have to start pushing again from the very beginning.
That is exactly how learning English works. The first few months are the hardest, but if you keep going, it gets easier. Your vocabulary grows, your understanding improves, your confidence increases. You build momentum. So please, do not quit. Do not let the ball roll back down the hill.
And this connects to a rule that I love. I call it the 15-minute rule. And I want every single person listening to this podcast to try it. The 15-minute rule is simple. Every single day, no matter how you feel, study English for at least 15 minutes. Not an hour, not 30 minutes, just 15 minutes.
15 minutes does not sound like very much.
And that is exactly why it works. 15 minutes is short enough that you cannot say, I do not have time. Everyone has 15 minutes. You can wake up 15 minutes earlier, you can study during your lunch break, you can study before bed. 15 minutes is manageable. It's not overwhelming.
And here's what I have noticed. When I tell myself I only have to study for 15 minutes, I almost always study for longer, because once I start, I get into it. I find it interesting. I want to continue. The hardest part is starting. Once you start, it's much easier to keep going.
Exactly. The 15-minute rule is really about getting yourself to start, because starting is the hardest part. Your brain does not want to start. It wants to stay comfortable. But once you begin, your brain adjusts. It accepts the activity, and often you end up studying for 30 minutes or even an hour without realizing it.
So the 15-minute rule and the 5-second rule work very well together. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you move, and you study for 15 minutes. That's it. That's the entire system. It's simple, but it's incredibly effective.
Now, I want to talk about something very important: failure. Because even the most disciplined people in the world sometimes fail. Sometimes you will miss a day. Sometimes you will break your habit. Sometimes you will choose the phone over the book. Sometimes you will skip your 15 minutes. And that's okay.
Wait, it is okay to fail?
Yes, it is okay to fail, but it is not okay to quit. There's a huge difference between failing and quitting. Failing means you made a mistake. You missed one day. You had a bad moment. Quitting means you stop trying completely. Failing is human. Quitting is a choice, and it's a choice you don't have to make.
So what should someone do when they fail, when they miss a day or a few days of studying?
The answer is very simple. Start again immediately. Do not wait until one day. Do not wait until the beginning of next month. Do not wait for the perfect moment. If you miss a day, study the next day. If you miss the morning, study in the afternoon. The rule is simple. Never miss twice. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is the beginning of a new bad habit.
I really like that. Never miss twice. That's easy to remember. So if I didn't study yesterday, I should make sure I study today. I shouldn't think about yesterday. I should focus on today.
Exactly. Yesterday is gone. You can't change it. But today is here, right now, and you can do something with it. Don't waste today feeling guilty about yesterday. Use today. Be disciplined today. And here's something else that helps. Don't be mean to yourself when you fail. Don't say, I'm stupid, or I'm lazy, or I'll never learn. Those words are harmful. They don't help you. Instead, say, I made a mistake, and that's okay. I'm going to try again right now.
That is very kind and very wise. Being kind to yourself is part of discipline, actually, because if you are too hard on yourself, you will want to quit. You will feel so bad about failing that you won't want to try again. But if you are kind to yourself, you will have the courage to keep going.
That's beautiful, Abel. And it connects to the next thing I want to talk about: changing your identity. And by identity, I mean how you see yourself, how you describe yourself, the words you use when you think about who you are.
Okay, this sounds very interesting. Tell me more.
Many English learners say things like, I have to study English. Notice the words, I have to. When you say, I have to, it sounds like a burden. It sounds like something you don't want to do but are forced to do, like taking out the garbage or paying a bill. It feels heavy and unpleasant.
That's true. When I say I have to study, I feel tired already. It feels like a punishment.
Exactly. But now try changing those words. Instead of saying, I have to study English, say, I'm the type of person who studies English every day. Do you feel the difference?
Wow, yes, that feels completely different. I am the type of person who studies English every day. That feels powerful. That feels like something I chose, not something I was forced to do.
And that is the secret. When you change your language, you change your identity. You are not someone who is being forced to study. You are someone who chooses to study. You are a disciplined person. You are a learner. You are someone who takes action. Say it to yourself right now, listeners. Say, I am the type of person who studies English every day. Say it again. I am a disciplined person.
And here is something I have learned, Anna. When you start telling yourself, I am a disciplined person, you start acting like one. Your actions follow your identity. If you believe you are lazy, you will act lazy. If you believe you are disciplined, you will act disciplined. It is that simple.
It really is. Your beliefs shape your behavior. So start believing something new about yourself today. Start believing that you are disciplined. Start believing that you are consistent. Consistent is an important word, listeners. Consistent means doing something regularly, again and again, without stopping. Consistency is the key to progress, not perfection. Consistency.
I want to repeat that because it is so important. The key to progress is not perfection. The key to progress is consistency. You do not need to have a perfect study session. You do not need to understand every word. You do not need to speak without any mistakes. You just need to show up. Every day, show up. Open the book. Listen to the podcast. Practice one sentence. Write one paragraph. Show up.
And over time, those small actions add up. 15 minutes a day is 105 minutes a week. That is almost 2 hours of study every week. In 1 month, that's about 8 hours. In 1 year, that is almost 100 hours of English practice. 100 hours from just 15 minutes a day. That is the power of consistency and discipline.
Those numbers are incredible, and it shows that you do not need to study for hours and hours every day. You just need to be disciplined enough to study a little bit every single day. Small steps taken consistently lead to big results.
Now, I want to share a few practical tips that our listeners can start using today. These are simple things, but they are very effective. Tip number 1, write down your goal. Take a piece of paper and write, I will study English for 15 minutes every day. Put that paper somewhere you will see it every morning, on your mirror, on your refrigerator, next to your bed. Seeing your goal every day keeps it fresh in your mind.
Tip number 2, choose a specific time. Don't just say, I will study sometime today. That is too vague. Vague means not specific enough. Instead, say, I will study English at 7 o'clock in the morning, or I will study English at 9 o'clock at night. When you choose a specific time, it becomes part of your schedule. A schedule is a plan for when you will do things. Put your study time in your schedule like an important meeting. Do not cancel it.
Tip number 3, track your progress. Buy a calendar or use an app on your phone. Every day that you study, mark it with a big X or a check mark. After a few days, you will have a chain of marks, and you will not want to break the chain. This is very motivating. You will think, I have studied for 10 days in a row. I do not want to break my streak. A streak means a series of days when you do something without stopping.
Tip number 4, find an accountability partner. An accountability partner is a friend or a family member who knows about your goal and checks in on you. Tell someone, I am going to study English every day. Please ask me about it. When someone else knows about your goal, you are more likely to follow through. Follow through means you actually do what you said you would do.
And tip number 5, celebrate small wins. When you study for a whole week without missing a day, celebrate. When you learn 10 new words, celebrate. When you understand a conversation in English without subtitles, celebrate. Celebrating small wins gives you positive feelings, and those positive feelings make you want to continue. Discipline does not mean being serious and unhappy all the time. You can be disciplined and also enjoy the journey.
Those are excellent tips, Anna. And I want to add one more thing. Do not compare yourself to other people. This is very important. Do not look at someone who speaks English fluently and feel bad about your level. That person has their own story, their own journey, their own struggles. You have yours. Focus on your progress. Compare yourself today to yourself yesterday. That is the only comparison that matters.
That is such wise advice. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to others, you steal your own happiness. Instead, look at how far you have come. Think about the first time you listened to an English podcast. Maybe you understood very little, but now you're listening to this podcast and you understand most of it. That's progress. That's growth. Be proud of yourself.
And remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker was once a student who didn't know how to say hello in English. They became fluent because they were disciplined. They studied when they didn't feel like it. They practiced when it was hard. They kept going when they wanted to quit. And now, it's your turn.
I want to close our conversation today with a message that I believe is very important, and I want you to listen carefully, listeners. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you are disciplined, you are taking care of your future self. You are saying, I love myself enough to do the hard work today so that my life is better tomorrow. You are choosing your future over your comfort.
That is a powerful message. Discipline is self-love. When you study English, even when you are tired, you are loving yourself. When you practice speaking, even when you feel embarrassed, you are loving yourself. When you wake up early to learn, you are loving yourself. You are investing in your future. Investing means putting time and effort into something now so that you get a reward later.
And the reward is a life where you can communicate with anyone in the world, a life where you can travel and feel confident, a life where you can get better opportunities, a life where you feel proud of yourself because you did something difficult and you didn't give up. That's the reward of discipline.
So let's summarize what we talked about today. Number 1, motivation is a feeling that comes and goes. Discipline is a decision that stays. Don't wait for motivation. Choose discipline.
Number 2, use the 5-second rule. When you need to do something, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Don't give your brain time to make excuses.
Number 3, design your environment. Make good choices easy and bad choices hard. Put your English book on your pillow. Put your phone in another room. Remove temptation.
Number 4, remember the cost of quitting. Starting over is always harder than keeping going. Don't let the ball roll back down the hill. Keep pushing forward.
Number 5, use the 15-minute rule. Study English for at least 15 minutes every single day. No excuses. 15 minutes is all you need to start.
Number 6, when you fail, don't quit. Start again immediately. Never miss twice. Be kind to yourself and keep going.
Number 7, change your identity. Stop saying, I have to study. Start saying, I am the type of person who studies. Your actions follow your beliefs.
Number 8, discipline is the highest form of self-love. When you are disciplined, you are taking care of your future self. You are building a better life.
And I want to say one last thing to every single person listening. You are capable of this. I know it feels hard. I know there are days when you want to give up. I know there are moments when you feel like you're not making progress, but you are. Every minute you spend studying is a step forward. Every word you learn is a brick in the house you're building. And one day, that house will be complete. One day, you will speak English with confidence and pride. But that day will only come if you are disciplined today.
We believe in you. We truly do. And we are here with you on this journey. Every episode we create is for you. Every word we speak is to help you grow. So please, when this episode ends, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go study. Open your book, review your vocabulary, practice saying a sentence out loud. Do something, anything, to move forward, because that's what disciplined people do. They take action.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We hope these ideas and tips help you become more disciplined in your English learning journey and in your life. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Persistent means you keep trying even when it's difficult. Be persistent, be disciplined, be kind to yourself.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. And if you want to support our channel, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you are going to do today to be more disciplined. We would love to read your answers.
And remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep learning, keep growing, keep being disciplined. We are proud of you. See you next time.